Okay, fine. Good morning. We are in Kufya Dalid, Sifyad Aleph. Hamurais, Pirush Shuvan Shaldagim, Fishoch in the colloquial. Um, V'makon Shadarcha and Lase Sasocho Yayin, also, when it was, people would eat it, so then straight, so then they'd use in a place where they would add wine in to flavor it. Also, or as an additive, I'm not sure exactly. But if wine is more expensive than morais, mutter, then it's mutter because they're not going to put in expensive wine into something cheap. The point of putting it in is to flavor it or to add volume, whatever it is, make it stronger, whatever the reason they put it in. But you're not going to go, just like you're not going to go use your $200 bottle of wine to cook your chicken in, all right? So here they're not going to use, and if it's more expensive, they're not. They don't have to be choshish. In dark on lasis socha yayin, but in a place no, there's not the derech to put wine. Mutter liknos behem. You can buy the morais from him. And you don't have to be choshesh. Stam. Well, maybe who said they're going? Maybe they put in chazer in. We shouldn't have said that you can't. Listen. And obviously, it's better you make the food in your house, but you are allowed to buy stuff from goyim and not to be choshesh. But that's only if it's not darkom, right? But if it's something which they can put in, like I said, it used to be. It was it still is. They use grape juice flavoring and things and a lot of stuff. And it was a big conscious problem. Now I think so. I look into this. I think a lot of these things don't either they become wine vinegar, which we'll get to is okay also, or I think a lot of does have maga adam. I think that's why they started being matter, a lot of them. Not that they started using kedem. I mean, unless I'm wrong, but I think that the I'll look when I get to Yanetzach. I'll look into it. But Akum, I think they like the OU. I have to look it up on their site. That I think there's a maga adam. I think that's the heter. Um, no person touch the machine. They put the grapes in the machine, and if they're not touched, there's no problem with yain nesach or stam yenam. So so therefore it's motor, but it's always something a person has to check into whether they put often they do put wine in many different they put wine in many different things. There was grape juice flavorings and children's medicines and whatever. Now there also is a lot more artificial stuff, so it's less of a problem. But that's what it used to be. Yubei Zarashba Hayanizar Me'ar Karkum. He was nizar from karkum. Whether karkum is turmeric or whether it's saffron, I'm not sure what the here seems to be saffron. Right. Mipnei shebechol haaretz hahi hayim zalfin alav yain. They used to put wine on it, harbe. V'gam ha'arvi b'chutei basa yavish. And they used to put it. That's why I think it's saffron, because it's stringy. Saffron is like a stringy spice. It's a right. Orange reddish, right? So therefore, it's like a filler. Like I mentioned once. I remember someone told me that I don't know how many years ago it was, but Elite Coffee used to they used to ground hummus up and put it in as a filler, whatever. So they used to go ahead and um, they used to put these chutei basar in basar yavish. Now the thing is, if it's first of all, if it's yavish mamish. So the place can say that if it's ke'etz, then it really doesn't, you don't have to worry about that, because it's not there's no isser baltal barov, whatever. You don't have to worry about time anymore. And from here we see that again, but there is an idea that if that we are allowed. That if this is the thing, checking ingredients, having hashgacha about if they put stuff in, if they don't put stuff in, and they don't put stuff in, you can buy spices and things and v'chule v'chule. There's different gemaras that they used to buy spices from India, whatever they could. You are allowed to buy stuff, but like I said, nowadays there's so many additives. Speaking to anyone in kashrus, there's so many different additives and so many different things. it's very, anything processed it needs a hechsher. You go to a farm or something and they have some nuts, or they go to or it's a store that has only nuts. You know, it could be it's okay. It could be it's okay. You have to ask the local rabbanim, and whatever, before yourself. Different things. Like we had before, like with the yain rimonim, a person calls up and can say, well, I'm allergic to this thing and this thing. Does it have this in there? Let me add it to it. It's like, does it have it? Like, I'm allergic to a bunch of things. What does it have in it? And if often they'll be straight and honest because they're not. If they know it's a Jew saying kosher, so who knows? But if you call up and say I have an allergy for this and this, they know about allergies and they know that a person gets sick, it could be a problem, different things. So it could be that's a way to bevar. You have to speak to Poskim about these things.
In the 7 days, they used to spray pistachio nuts with gel to keep them fresh.
Right. Uh-huh. You never really know. Okay.
But it says here, Ashbaya is ha.
Nizar, yeah, he was careful, meaning that since this was common, so Nizar means he didn't eat it because it was common for him to spray wine on. Obviously, it means if you wanted to, he'd look into it, and
And the spraying of the wine, after the wine is completely dry, the problem is that you
Uh, or is it harbe though? It's lashon harbe, meaning it's probably it could be it's more than that. I'm not 100% sure. Either one, either one. Either latama or if it's enough on the.
wasn't bottled.
Yeah, it wasn't bottle. I don't know. It says harbe. Um, right. Okay. So right. So kuftes vav here's Simon. Everyone's waiting for a sugya of Haagen-Dazs and Ben and Jerry's and etc. etc. Can we have the sugya of Chal Yisrael, Chal Stam, v'chule v'chule? So that's Akdama to there's three sifim in the simin, and which three important klolim, which I'll just give a Hakdama so the simin makes more sense. There was a xera of chalav that was milked by a goy. Chaim put a xera of chalav akum because of a chashash, and maybe they're misarev, that maybe there's they put chalav tamei in, chalav, pig milk or camel milk, depends on depends what part of the world you're in. And they would put in, and then they would put in chalav tamei, either mix it in or give it to you instead, whatever it is.
This is definitely not because of chasnas.
Not because there is like one shita, but the ikaron it's not because of chasnas. It's a chash yisr. So therefore, it's a real chash yisr. So therefore they said that it has to be the milking has to be seen or overseen by a yid, by a Jew, so that to be sure he's not doing that. Sif Beis is talks about Gvinas Akum. Gvinas Akum is a completely different gzera, meaning even if it's Chol of Yisrael, but a goy makes the cheese, it's going to be aser. It's nothing to do with Chol of Yisrael. It's a completely separate iser because of chashash. The Gemara gives like three chashashos. I think what the ikar is, whether they smeared it with lard or there's still maybe the goyim did it and there's still some milk from the goyim stuck in the cheese, or there's a couple other possibilities. But the thing is that it doesn't make a difference what the tam is. It's low plug, meaning gvinas akum is also. So even if it's chalav Yisrael, the chaim were goyzer on gvinas akum. So therefore, it's a separate issue. The third nakuda is the third sifra talks about butter. Now, there's a thing about cholov, about kosher milk, is that it has a quality that can be separated. It can separate into the cream and the whey, and either by cooking or putting in a certain type of agent in it separates it. So butter is the cream on top, but it can be made with buttercream, depends how they separate it. They take that and they churn it, it turns into butter. Now it also turns into kosher milk is the only thing that turns into cheese. So therefore it's a siman. Therefore the fact that it could be separated is a siman muvak that it was kosher. That's why Gvinas Akum is not it's a separate zera because maybe there's a bit of milk left, maybe this, but it's borer that you're not going to have Gvina unless you have unless it's kosher milk. Now, maybe you'll have some bits of if there wasn't if he had mixed in some pig milk, maybe that didn't get coagulated into cheese, so that maybe is stuck on the outside or something like that. But by butter, we'll see. By butter, it's a simon. We'll see if it's a simon muvak. That it was kosher milk. We'll get to.
Are you saying you can't make butter from non-kosher milk?
Can't make butter from non-kosher milk. We'll get to the
butter nor cheese from non-kosher.
Right. So those are the three sifim. We'll get into the practical halacha. What we know, not knowing, but butter it depends on minhagim. Panim, that's just a hakdama to understand the next few sifim. We'll start. Chalav shechalbo ovik hachavim. Chalav which are going milked. If ein Yisrael varuhu aser. Yisrael did not see him milking it, then it is aser. Shema iriv bo chalav tamei. Maybe he put in chalav tamei. Hayachole bebeso. If he milked it in his house, Yisrael yoshevi bachutz, and there's a Yisrael sitting outside, not necessarily watching, sitting outside. If he knows this guy does not have any camels or pigs or anything like that, then it's going to be mutter. Even if the Yisrael does not see him exactly when he's milking.
He has a container of pig milk that he pours in.
Right. We're worried that right. We're not worried. I don't think we're worried that he has something stored necessarily. We'll get into some more detail. Get into more details about, if the Pichadosh says, it talks about if there's, he talks about Amsterdam. He says that there's no, we know that they don't have any treif animals in Amsterdam. So therefore, he had big tzad to be, he wanted to be makel and matter all the milk in Amsterdam. Right, but the problem is that what the other achronim or cholik on the Pri Chadash say is that it was the gzera was a gzera afal pikein. We're not touching upon Ramosha yet, and nowadays we're touching upon a chazaka about the fact that that there's no tummy animals anywhere, so the Pri Chadash said, oh, that's a strong enough chazaka. So that's a strong enough umdana to say, okay, we can drink milk, drink non-Jew milk, but other Achronim say no. That's first of all, there's other tamim besides that. There's a bunch of other tamim besides that.
And this was only if you were in their house.
So this is when you're in your house. So the Pri Chadash says if you're not, there isn't anything anywhere. They say that the Aruch argument said this chazaka is only said in conjunction with the fact that Yisrael was there. Yisrael has to have a hand in it. Like you said, maybe it's a chash, he had an extra container. I don't know whether exactly the exact chash, but that's how the Chayim goes in. It is on the page. It is on the page. If it's print, if you have set Pri Chadash, it is. If it's on the page itself, I don't know. The Matthew quotes it, but otherwise you have to find the Pri Chadash in the Sefer or something they have in the back. Hayelo dover tamei be'edro. If there was tamei things in his flock, and he's sitting outside, and the goy is milking the tzorch Yisrael. Afilo in a yachal iroisa k'shir yoshev. Even if you can't see him from where he's sitting, yachal iroisa kishu oimed. If he could stand up and watch mutter. Sheyari shemayamo v'yarehu. Maybe he'll stand up and see him. Hu sheyadeh shechalav tamei also Yisrael. Well, that's where if he knows that chalav tamei is also Yisrael, because otherwise, why would he think this? What's the problem, Rabbi? Whatever. What's the big deal? He won't have any clue. So therefore, he has to know you're watching because of the idea of chalav Yisrael, or that he can't mix in any other milk into it. There's a discussion in the poskim. What about video cameras? There's a big tool in the police scheme. What about having video cameras and mashkiach watching from somewhere else? Is that good enough? Rabbi Yosef said Beikaron you can be makel, but that's his machmir. I think with Gross and Rabbi Yosef both said, what's the problem? You can, if he could, as long as he could be looking at it, and not like he's like, it's on his phone and he can open it up here. And I mean, it could be that also. The guy knows that, just like over here, if he stands up, he'll see him. So at some point, some people say, no, what do you mean that, like I said again, to try the video cameras by Yichud and things, whatever, it's not so pasha. So over here, they say you can mizayef, he can go ahead and deep fake it, or he can I don't know, he can play around with the video, or he can hide. The question is, how far do you have to be choishesh? Like I said, a lot of hechsherim are many hechsherim are, like I said, Badatz is machmir on it, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. But I said the Rav Yosha said when you could be makel, that it's no gara from this case over here. Hagar l'chachila tzarich liyos Yisrael b'tchilas hachaliva, and l'chachila the Ramah says that the Yisrael has to be there from the beginning of the milking. V'yireh b'kli shelo yiyeh b'kli shechovim bel davar tameh. He has to check that this bucket or this kli that he's using it's clean and empty, because maybe he used it to milk his pigs or his camels, and now he's, and there's a bit of milk in, and he's going to, use it there. And there's a shiloh about also is goyish milk, because we'll see by Yaines, because it's davar shebeminyan, meaning it's not bottle. It's something which is choshev. It's a davar choshev. So therefore, even if it's mixed in, it's a davar choshev. Since it's saying Yanesech is also your Davar Shabbat. I had to get there, to be honest, I didn't really understand it. Yeah, that's the Davar Shabbat they call it. And the Pricholosh says it's not, so you don't have to worry, but the other who's can say it is. Yanesech is considered, I think it means it's Davar Choshev. It's not sure Davar Choshev, therefore it's not bottle, therefore it's not bottle. Other people are cholik. It's also discussion. But Al Kapanim over here, the Ramah says bikaron. The point of the hashkacha has to be that he's using clean kalim. They can't. The minig is to be machmer not to use the same kalim. Maybe there's bits of milk in there.
This last bit where there was no Jewish hashkacha. Not necessarily, this last bit is not necessarily that it's pig milk, but it could be that was from a chaliva where there was no.
Right. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, because cholav akum is also, it's also. Although, right. However, where l'chachila we do this is l'chachila we it's like the smack we try to. We try to follow it, but b'di'eved, if it was done already, then you don't have to worry about the kalim. But the Shach says, but as long as you're there in the beginning of the chaliva to check the kli, that's all. He says the Ramah paskins you need to be there to check the kli, and the Shach is machmir. It's a smak. The Shach is machmir that this is an important thing. Is that you have to be sure that you could rely on the fact that they weren't using the same kalim, or you can check, or you have to check and be sure you're there in the beginning. That like, cameras could help with that. That could be that. There's a discussion about robotic milking. Is that nowadays good enough for because it says I was looking into it. It says that they have the robot milking it, and the cows will come to the thing itself, and then and it like scans it and identifies it and starts milking. Person can say the chorah wouldn't. It's not a problem. There's no problem of chalav akum, because there's no goy there, right? To be choshish, and the kalim are they're only used for cows. No other. They say it's not gonna, if a pig shows up there, it's not going to start milking the pig or a horse or a camel. So they say you could, Sharon could rely on it. I don't know what they do, lamaisa or whatever. The shvachos shecholvos behemoths of Beis Yisrael, and maids who who do milk and Yisrael over Deah shalahem, or in their flock in the corral, whatever. Kol makom she'ein beis avi kochavim mafsik. As long as there's no other neighbor, then there's no goy who's lives next door. Ve'ein lachush davar talmei mutter. You could say that it's mutter. If you can even let the maids or the farm workers milk. Alavi she'ein sham Yisrael klal. Damiyachoshu b'beis Yisrael o b'shchunasai ein lachush davar talmei. Since it's in the Yisrael's house and there's no goy right next to it, whatever. So then, where are they going to go ahead and get the Talmei milk from? So therefore, you don't have to worry about it. It's in the Yid's house, and there's a bit of mirsas also where they're going to smuggle in some tray stuff. So therefore, then we don't have to be choshesh.
In this case, you wouldn't need to see the bucket.
Right. Because she's using your buckets. Yeah, right. Base of mafsik. But if there's a goy around, if there is a goy near there, or even if she's like, let's say it's his house and her house is here or whatever, and there's a goy in between. If there's access to a goy, then you have to be mashkiach on it. Now, feel Yisrael.
The guy doesn't have any kids.
I don't know if we're. Yeah, because we said before it doesn't have any alpha peak, and you have to sit there. As long as there's access to it, then you have to. There's a chashash zaratame. But Fiji Yisrael kata no ktana mo'ilim the other kochavim mirsas. Even a kid is enough. So any small mirsas is enough to go ahead and make chalav Yisrael, make it into chalav Yisrael. Im chalvo ovi kochavim mixas behemos. And if tomorrow we'll get into the pikuach b'mshalti, we'll continue a little bit here. If we get into government watching and Moshe and stuff, and if a guy milked some animals, lo hayasham Yisrael, and the Yisrael wasn't there. Achak ba Yisrael hacherim, and the Yisrael came like halfway through. Achshav izman hazeh she'ein chalav davar tamei matzur klal mutter. Since chalav davar tamei is not something which is matzur, it's he came into the middle of the milking. There's enough mirsas that we'll matter the whole batch.
Even the first one.
Yeah. Even if he showed up after he finished milking, the cows are still there. After he finished milking, then it's kilu, he did it all by himself completely. It doesn't make, once he showed up afterwards, it doesn't make a difference. It's also asura. We still say it is asur. Chalav She'ovi kochavim oseres kelim, chalav akum asers kelim, shenizbashel behen kashar iser, like any other iser rabban. Avi she'en Aruch savik sheme'ir b'davar talmei v'chein gvinos sehem. So too, gvinos akum also asers like any other davar aser. Avalo chema shelahem, afilu makom shenagu ba iser eno oseres kelim, shenizbashel ba lo tarova shelah. I think we'll stop here and we'll go over this. Continue. Yeah, I find it's complicated. It's